What's up, guys? Duster McDangles back here with another video, and welcome back to the franchise rebuild series with the Montreal Canadiens and Rick Rebuild as the GM. In today's episode, we're going to be getting into the NHL Draft, getting into free agency, re-signing phase, and then we'll tweak around with the lines and see what we'll be working with here in the upcoming season. But before we do get into today's episode, if you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We've been growing like crazy over the past couple of weeks, and I cannot thank you all enough for the love and support you've been showing, not only with likes, comments, joining the channel. It does mean a lot. It means that you guys are enjoying this. I have so much fun making these videos, and I like sharing them with you guys, and I'm glad you guys do like them. So let's keep up the love and support, and I'll keep making these videos for you guys. And as well, we have Discord down below in the comments. Be sure to go ahead and check out the Discord channel. Trying to grow that. Haven't really been too in tune with that, but just not a whole lot of growth over there. So show some love over in Discord. We'll get that going, as well as I hope you guys enjoyed the Super Bowl. This is Monday's video. I recorded this on Saturday. My pick, I had the Rams, but I'm sure we know who won at this point in time, but hope you guys enjoyed that. If you didn't watch, hope you guys are enjoying the Olympic coverage and watching all of the sports. But without further ado, we're getting into the episode today, which is the NHL Draft. First and foremost, one of my favorite episodes to make is the off-season episode, just to see all the changes we can make. And I know in the last episode, I did take a look at Connor Bedard is the guy we're wanting to go ahead and get. And honestly, I'm willing to give up Bergeron to get him at 8.5. We have a huge opening for cap space, because if we bring in Bedard, and again, we can't really look at lines right now, but we can at least look at our roster. If we bring in Bedard, it'd be then probably Bergeron, Bedard, Suzuki. I don't want Bedard or Suzuki playing second or really third line minutes, so I would rather get rid of Bergeron, because Suzuki, I mean, he could play the wing. I don't know if that would be better for him. His faceoffs are only 78, so maybe that is something we could do if, this is a big if we can get the third overall pick, because that's where Bedard is slotted to go. If we can get the third overall pick by just giving up our first round picks, then we'll keep Bergeron. If we cannot get the third overall pick with just draft picks, we're going to have to throw Bergeron in there. It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make, as well as there might be somebody else I might be willing to get rid of, but you guys will see in just a moment who that will be. But without further ado, we're hopping into the draft right now. First and foremost, we need to get that third overall pick. That is our goal. We have to get it from Minnesota. It'd be interesting to see if they're going to be willing to give this up, but hey, we're going to throw the kitchen sink at them. We need Bedard big time. So pick value is honestly already pretty high, and the Boston Bruins are 18th, so that is also a decently high valued pick. We'll see if those two get it. It is not going to do the trick, so this is why we also have a second round pick for this year's draft. We'll throw that in there. If this can get the third overall pick, that would be huge. We cannot get it with just that. That was my fear. This is my fear. And honestly, if we're really talking about it, man, we have couple minutes to try to get this done. I am making this work 100%. I don't care what I have to do. I'm making this trade happen. So we're going to throw in, see if the Rangers second round pick for next year's draft would go through. That is rejected. We'll see if we can throw in the higher second round pick. I'm honestly willing to throw in our first round pick for next year's draft. I do not care. But we'll see if that goes through. It does not. Oh my goodness. This is insane. Okay, we still have some time. Trade value, I mean, if I'm Minnesota Wild, I'm taking this deal. 3 first-round picks for their third overall pick. Trade is accepted. Okay. I mean, we traded pretty much the kitchen sink for this, but we got it, and we actually get to keep Bergeron around. So, Michkov is gone. Actually, I'm curious about the Seattle pick, because I kind of want to do a little finagling here. I don't think it would be able to happen. I don't know what his trade value is in the first place, But I'm honestly looking to move on from Carey Price, guys. He is not having the best this season. We might be able to get up a higher draft pick in the first round. I would say maybe of next year's draft. This is how we can maybe get our first round pick back. I swear if Seattle takes Bedard, I'm going to freaking throw my controller through this screen. And they don't. Boys, we got Connor Bedard. That is who we are taking. 150%. This is what we wanted to do. This is why we stacked up on those picks. I know we threw the kitchen sink at it, but we just picked up our boy, Connor Bedard. He's only 78 overall, franchise medium, but he is going right into the lineup first year, guys. He is a starter for us. That is, I'm really happy with that pick. We got him. We got our man. He's franchise medium. There's an elite high. I would say we got the best player in the draft. I'm curious because there were a couple gems. Holy smokes, that Carlson guy, 84 elite medium. That is actually insane. 82 elite medium. Those were the other gems that were on our trading block. That's actually crazy. So we could have had this Carlson guy who's right winger, sniper. Man, he's kind of nasty. Not going to lie, but Bedard is a franchise medium player, so hypothetically speaking, he will develop faster, especially if we give him first or second line minutes, because that's exactly what we're going to do with Bedard. So, really happy with that. When it comes to now trying to get more picks, we're going to need to look. Obviously, we need a first-round pick for next year's draft. That is what we need. Although, could we somehow finagle Trevor Zegras? Trevor Zegras from the Ducks. How unreal would that be if we could do that? Throw Bergeron in there. They're extremely over the cap. It's probably not going to work. I was going to say it's probably not going to work. If we can maybe snipe a centerman, ooh, this could be interesting. This could be very interesting actually. But let's go ahead and sim up to our next pick, which is the second round. Got a second round pick here. Would there be anyone? Colin McKenzie, goaltender. That's actually, I'm curious. 3 years out, Roberto Luongo is his kind of person he would model after. No one else really high for the goaltenders. All D's. Yeah, we'll take the goalie, Colin McKenzie. 61 overall fringe starter. That's actually not too bad. He could have decent trade value. I'm honestly not too worried about this year's draft as much now that we've got our guy, elite medium, Smirnoff. Not very good. This is where I start going potential to see what is out there. This guy's a bust, and I'm not into drafting busts. That's not what we want. Igor Morozov. He is 5 years out, elite medium, 1 bar. Don't really know too much about him. Offensive defenseman. This power forward, though. It's a tough call. We're going to go with the defenseman. I don't know if this is the smart pick. Elite low, 57 overall. That's going to be some trade value, to be honest. And now we are in the fourth round. And this is actually where we're going to try to also find a trade for another centerman, try to get Bergeron out. Somebody actually picked the bust, which is very interesting. We could take the nickel guy. He's 6'5", 5 years out. Kyle Nickel is also 5 years out. He is an absolute tree. But for my boy Forsberg, we have another goalie. We might take this goalie later on. But for right now, we're going to take the 6'5" power forward. I have no idea what he is going to be. Bottom 6 forward potential. Not our best pick. But I think if this other goalie is actually still on the block, I do want to take him. Although, let's see how this kid was actually had a pretty decent season in the OHL. He is 17 years old, so he would have another year in the OHL, honestly. I mean, he is an AHL top 6 forward. Let's take him. 61 overall. I mean, that's pretty decent. He will be a good piece to trade off, but let's see if we can get that Swedish goaltender. You never know with those Swedes. You could find maybe an awesome gem if he is still on the block. He is a Bergvist. Please correct my pronunciation down in the comments if that was brutal. Fringe starter, medium potential. Not the best, but now what I want to do is try to get a trade offer, so give me a second, and we'll see what we can do. Here is a trade offer for Matthew Berniers. I always butcher his last name, but the kid who was taken, technically it says he's undrafted, which is interesting. He was drafted in the first round from Michigan. He did play last year for them, and he had 20 goals, 14 assists, nothing too crazy. He is 81 overall. He does fit top 6 forward lines, which would be awesome. That's also going to clear up a lot of space for us to make some moves in free agency. I honestly don't know if this could be a 1-for-1 swap. This would actually be kind of crazy, but we are going to have to throw in a pick or two for this. And actually, this is a good chance to see what those goalies are that we picked up. Price has decent. Yeah, Mackenzie's value is not the best, which is interesting. So we'll throw in this goalie. Why not? And honestly, this is actually going to line up for a massive offseason for. I'm trying to think of it right now. Offseason for free agency. To be honest, we only have one more pick left in this year's draft, so we'll throw in a 3rd round pick for it. See if this goes through. Trade is rejected. Might have to throw in one of our, switch that to a 2nd round pick next year. I'd honestly be down for this elite medium Berniers. See if this goes through. Trade's rejected. Probably not going to be able to get that to go through. But what we could even do is we could basically give Bergeron away for free for a pick for next year's draft, which they do have a 1st round pick. And I'm curious if that could technically go through. I'd even be down to give up one of our 2nd round picks for next year to make this happen and pick up a centerman in free agency. See if that goes through. Trade is accepted. I think that's a smart move here moving forward. We've got tons of cap room, guys, to bring somebody in free agency. So I am happy about that. We've got another trade that we do need to make first, though. Here we are, guys. Trade offer to get Carey Price out of Montreal. I know a lot of you guys might be upset about this, but he's declining with overall. He's 86 overall. His stats last year were not the best at all. 35 years old at $9 million. 9.9 is just a huge hit on the cap. We could try to get him out and bring in, again, a 1st round pick from the Red Wings, which I don't know if they're going to be good or not next year. They might be, but it's another 1st round pick. We'd have 2 1st round picks for next year's draft. I'm willing to make this trade work. Trade is rejected. Okay, so we're going to have to move on from the Red Wings, but there's somebody else out there that I'm sure. Calgary Flames are sellers. Let's see if we could get maybe one of their 1st round picks for next year's draft. With this, actually, trade value is kind of in our favor. We might even be able to swap this 3rd round pick out of there for maybe a 5th instead. See if this trade goes through. Trade's rejected. We'll move this back up to the 3rd round pick. Our 3rd round pick for next year. Trade is rejected. We might even have to throw this into we could give them back their 2nd round pick, but then trade value is heavily in our favor. So what we could then do is ask for their 3rd round pick. See if that works. They get their 2nd back. Trade's rejected. Might even just have to give them their 2nd back. I want to try to get something else out of it. Just one pick just doesn't seem right. Maybe their 3rd for 2 years from now. See if this goes through. Trade's rejected. We might only get a 4th round pick as well out of this and their 1st, but see if that goes through. Trade's rejected. We're only going to probably get their 1st round pick out of it. Trade's rejected. So they don't want Carey Price, which is interesting, but hey, that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. But we're going to go back to our friends in the desert, Arizona Coyotes. They're usually always up for trades with us. We'll give them a 2nd round pick as well. Trade is rejected. I do kind of want to make this happen. So we'll even throw in a 3rd round pick as well. Get Carey Price off our books. It's not going to happen, so we're going to have to try to find a way to make this work. I don't know any other rookie skaters we have, although, what's-his-face, I was going to say, before that goes away, this Anita, our 1st round pick from last year's draft, that 18th overall pick, which I'll show you guys here in just a second. But I think that while I'm now contemplating this move, I think this is the right decision. moving forward, making this trade. It just seems right. I feel like it's the right thing to do. And moving forward, I'm sure there's some free agent goalies out there that will be able to pick up. I'm not too concerned about that specifically. But if we can't make this happen at the draft, we'll make it happen at the start of the regular season. I was kind of blanking there on what we were trying to do. So throw in the second round pick, and then we were going to throw in rookie skater. Obviously, we're not throwing Bedard in there, but this guy right here, although we could throw in this Krasinski, we'll actually do that instead. Arizona, we're coming after your first overall pick, although that Lambert guy is actually looking pretty nice. Or we could get this Kondratiev guy. This is one of those gems in this year's draft. That would actually kind of be sick. Could maybe steal him instead of a first-round pick, because we know this guy's legit guaranteed. See if this goes through with this trade. This would actually be a nice little trade. Trade's rejected. Maybe if we throw in that second-round pick, this could actually be a nice little steal in the draft. Second round pick, Krasinski for that Kondratiev kid, left wing, 82 overall. Man, that is rejected. Oh, man, that would have been an absolute nice steal. Actually, we'll even give them another rookie skater. Morozov. We'll throw Morozov in there, 19 years old. See if this goes through. I don't know if it will. Yeah, trade's rejected. We'll switch this with the Nhl. See if this goes. I mean, this is heavily in our favor. I don't know if they'll take it. Unwilling to part ways with what you requested us. So unless you're... Wow. That's kind of crazy. So we're going to have to switch this back to that first overall pick for next year's draft. I really thought that would go through. I guess they want an arm and a leg for him. But hey, we'll poach next year's draft, which technically has higher trade value. See if that goes through. Trade's rejected. We'll have to throw that defenseman back in there. This should theoretically get this pick. Krasinski, they do want him as well. And see if that goes through. Trade's rejected. Man, what do they want? They want an arm and a leg for this trade. We'll throw in Morozov. Why not? Give them elite people. That's crazy. They don't want to get rid of their first overall pick, which, I mean, it's understandable, but I don't see why they don't get rid of it. Now, one thing we could even try to do is go after John Gibson, 29 years old. We'd be giving them, I mean, he had a solid year last year. Not the best, but he is only 29 years old. Honestly, this could be a nice little finagle here, although we would have to maybe get rid of that. Ah, man, the money is probably not going to work out. That's unfortunate. So, if anything, I think that we're just going to call it a draft. For now, we've got one more pick. I know we've been on the draft here for a little while now, but I do want to take care of some offseason, not free agents, but I want to get some guys re-signed. See here who else we could maybe try to snipe. We got a Grinder Witherspoon. Trying to see if we can go through here, if we could maybe find somebody who has any X factors. That would be nice. Although what we could even better do is look through. Actually, this guy has some decent physicals, top 6 forward medium potential, and he is a 59 overall AHL medium. So that's our draft. Honestly, really happy. We got our boy. We got Bedard. We got our first-round pick for next year. We got Bergeron off the book, so that opens up something for potential free agency that we could bring in, whether it's a winger or a centerman, so that we'd still give the option of moving Suzuki over to the wing. That is still an option. 5 skaters, restricted free agents. We're gonna get all these guys signed. I'm not too worried about that. Let's actually take a look here at pending free agents, though. This is what I'm really intrigued about, because we got a whole lot of money. And, oh my goodness, Stützle, if he does not re-sign, I really want that guy on our team. I want to make that work. He doesn't fit any of our lines, which is unfortunate. Could maybe even go for Ryan O'Reilly, only if it's forward line 3, which is it's kind of sad. But there's a lot of good centermen out there, guys, and I'm kind of happy we moved on from Alex Newhook. That could be interesting. I would want to try to bring him in. He is restricted though. There's a lot of good centermen guys out there. And looking at goalies, what do we got? Spencer Knight. Oh, if he does not resign, we need to we have to trade. If he does not resign, we have to trade Price to bring him in. Even Nedeljkovic is up there in overall. So there's a lot of different options we've got here, guys, moving forward. But now we got to work on our contracts, which pretty much all of our NHL contracts are pretty much shored up here. We got $16 million worth of cap here to work with, guys, which is really awesome. Next year is going to be a big one when it comes to needing to re-sign people. But we need to first off sign our boy Connor Bedard, 3 years, rookie max deal. He will want to think about bringing Rodriguez back. He does want a really nice deal. That's a tough one. We'll give him the 1 year. Why not? That's a nice little deal there. Malgin, we're going to let him go. I'm not too worried about him. We got a couple unrestricted. Here's Zadora. He wants a very nice two-way deal. We'll even give him 3 years at that. Really nice stuff there. Yulin, he wants a decent deal. We'll even give him a little bit more to keep playing on the AHL squad, just so we don't have to worry about those guys moving forward. Wu wants a really nice deal as well. We'll give him a little bit more, and we'll continue on with that. Gilden, another defenseman who wants a really nice deal. We'll give him a little bit more money. All these guys I 100% expect to sign. Harvey Bedard, I think that's how you say his name. We'll give him a little bit more for 3 years. I'm sure he will be happy with that. Anitala, we're going to have to sign him. And he wants rookie max. We'll give it to him. I know he'll want to sign. We'll advance a day, see who we get. Easy decision. Rodriguez signs. Wu signs. Gilden signs. Harvey Bedard signs. Yulinen resigns. Zadora actually is going to reject. Connor Bedard signs. Anitala signs. That is awesome stuff there. We're gonna have to try to sign. I really want to keep Zahora around. He was a solid player, and we'll just give him a little bit more money for 3 years. I mean, that's probably what it is and what he wants. But I think defensively we're set on D. We don't have to worry about anyone on the back end for next year or until next year. We're pretty much set at the goalie position. We don't really need anybody for the AHL. This Vertebik backup, we're just going to release him. See if anyone picks him up in free agency. I doubt it. We'll advance another day here. And Zahora re-signs. We've got about $17 million worth of cap to work with, which is really awesome. But I'm going to go ahead here, try to re-sign some coaches, sign some scouts, and then we'll hop into free agency. All right, boys, we got all the coaches and scouts taken care of at this point in time. We might honestly move on from our head coach here moving forward. I'm not too happy with him. He only has a 65 fit with the team as well. And I'm really looking for something a little bit better than that. I don't know if we'll be able to find it. And, I mean, it's going to be tough. I don't know what other coaches are going to be out there on the market or if there'd be any better team fits better than a 65. But just before we hop into free agency, actually, we'll hop into free agency because I think at this point, let's take a look. Centerman, we're pretty much set. We got Suzuki, Dvorak, Rodriguez, Bedard. I might want to maybe bring in another centerman. It's a tough call because I need Gunther, and I would maybe say Suzuki or Bedard on that top line. We're pretty much set at left wing. Look at Milano, guys. Look at that deal we signed with him, and he's already up to an 80 overall, so he might even slide into the lineup. Lawson Krause has fallen a little bit, but that's okay. He is our fourth line player. Caulfield, Toffoli, Marchenko, Sprong. I mean, we're pretty much set at the right wing position as well. We don't need to worry about defensemen, but at this point, we can do a little finagling here and get something to work. Now, here we go. This is one of the most exciting times of the year. Free agency is huge. We have two roster spots, I think, when it comes to being able to bring some players in. And if we need to, we can try to trade some guys out. We have 50 contracts. And looking at it here, O'Reilly is available at $10 million. That's a lot of money for 32 years old. Let's actually take a look at centerman. Giroux, 86. I mean, we would have to go for O'Reilly, and that's a hefty contract, I'm not going to lie. Or we keep Suzuki, Bedard on the top two lines, and we bring in maybe like a Jonathan Taves, bottom six forward potential. Maybe we bring in like a Max Domi, who's he only fits the first line. Derek Grant, nobody too crazy. Burakovsky's up there. We already have a top left winger, and honestly, I'm not trying to look for maybe somebody a little bit younger, like Jonathan Drouin. We could maybe bring him back. I'm curious. Full stats for last year when he left St. Louis: 26 points in 38 games played. He didn't really do a lot, and he wants still $4 million, so it's not really a great deal at all. Andreas Johansson, bottom six forward lines, could be somebody we maybe look to bring in. Right wing position, Tarasenko would be pretty nice, but we already have Caulfield on the top line. He doesn't fit any of our lines anyways. Radulov, we got JT Comfer, which could be nice. He doesn't fit any of our lines. Look at Hosang here, 83 overall. He wants $5 million. Top six forward lines. So when you think about it, because we already have Toffoli, we already have Caulfield, so he's not going to fit that role. So again, not a player we don't really need. Patrick Hornquist, he wants 1 year. He could be a nice little grinder type player. Fourth line, which could be really nice for 2 years. I mean, $4 million for a fourth line player is a little much. Connor Brown, he had a solid year last year. He only fits forward line 1. Let's take a look at goalies. And Mackenzie Blackwood is on the market. Ooh, that could be nice. But Marc-Andre Fleury could bring in the old man. He had a somewhat okay year last year. Could maybe bring him in at $5 million. That's a tough call. I would rather have maybe somebody a little bit younger, maybe like a Georgiev, but Mackenzie Blackwood, the last time I tried to get him, just did not work out. He didn't have a great year last year. Let's take a look at his stats, to be honest. And, 904, 907. Let's take a look at Fleury. And Marc-Andre Fleury, 915 for Minnesota, 910. I mean, he's put up some solid numbers, and I think Fleury is going to be our guy that we try to go after. We'll give him $6 million. We'll 6-1 for a year. I think that's a fair deal to bring him in. And now this is where we need to go take a look back at our team, because what we could also do is bring somebody else in, see if Fleury signs, then we can look to maybe trade Price out. But we're kind of going to need to take a look at what we're going to try to want to build here with our forwards, because centers, actually we do need a centerman. Is that right? Oh, is Bedard not going to play for us this year? Oh my goodness, is Bedard too young to actually play for us? That would be crazy if he does not play for us. So we kind of do need a centerman. I'd be furious if that doesn't work out. Unless he's in the system. Okay, I was going to say he's in the system. So, hypothetically speaking, because he doesn't play center, but Suzuki does play wing, we do need a center. And if anything, we could get trade value out of it. We're good on wing. Gunther, Kostanin, Anthony, maybe a fourth line winger we could try to bring in on the right wing side. So, a right wing depth player, I think, is somebody we look to try to bring in. and a centerman. So we will go back to the board. Right wing, depth, center, top 2 lines is what we're looking for now. And let's see what we can get here. We've got tons of cap room. And let's take a look at centers. I think centers is what I want to spend the most money on. I don't know if I want to spend $10 million though. And I mean, that's a lot of money. Claude Giroux could be a nice little shout. Fits forward line too. But again, that's going to be an instance where if we do play Bedard, Suzuki might have to go to wing. Then in that case, we wouldn't even really need a wingerman or a winger, not a wingerman. I don't know why I said that. Bottom 6, Jonathan Taves. That could be a nice little shout. Spezza's too old. Domi, I don't think he doesn't really fit. Man, this is tough. Barbashev, forward line 1. Trying to think. Who's this guy? P.S. Suter. Doesn't fit our lines, which is a bummer. Lars Eller. Very interesting, forward line 1, so he's not going to work. Teddy Bluger is an interesting type player. Top 6 forward lines, though. And now we're starting to get into some pretty gnarly areas that only fit like bottom pairs as well. So that's Jeff Carter's 81. I don't really want to bring him in. Honestly, out of all of this, I'd be down to bring Taves in. He only wants 1 year at 5. I'd say 5.15. That'd be a nice little deal. Trying to bring him in, play him on the 3rd line, maybe even if he needs 2nd line minutes. At 35 years old, I'm okay with that. Now we need a depth right winger player. We don't need anyone too crazy. Honestly, Hornquist would be nice if he didn't want that 4-1. He could play 4th line and be really that rock on the 4th line, which would be awesome. Joe Pavelski could also be something awesome, but he doesn't fit any lines, which is a bummer. We could bring in Dadonov. I always mess that guy's name up, but he doesn't fit really any of the lines that we want him to. Owen Tippett, 24 years old, only fits forward line 2. Is he restricted? He is restricted, so we're not going to be able to go after him unless other teams interested. Oh man, that would actually be really nice. But he only fits the 2nd line, which does kind of suck. Phil the Thrill Kessel, forward line 1. I was gonna say he's probably not gonna fit. Dustin Brown, top 6 forward lines. Honestly, the call here might be for Patrick Hornquist at $4 million. He is just where is he? He wants 2 years. Power forward. He put up some solid points in his 2nd line role. Only if it's the 4th line. I just don't think his trade value as well it's not going to be there. What about Craig Smith? Top 6 forward lines. Don't really want that. Bobby Ryan put up a solid year. Only wants forward line 1. Ho-Sang, top 6 forward lines. We're good there. JT Comfort doesn't fit. It's a tough call for a depth winger. I'm torn. Who's this Fisher guy? Christian Fisher. I don't really want him, to be honest. Tippett, he's restricted, but that would be really nice. We could try to make it work as well. Top 6 forward, medium potential. Who has the best potential? Obviously Tarasenko, Tippett, Blitchfield, Gustav Nyquist. We didn't actually get to him. Doesn't really fit though. We're going to try for Tippett. I do want to kind of make him work. We can get him at like 2.5 for 3 years. You do not have the appropriate... we can't even go for him. That's actually a big L right there. So as much as I don't want to do it, Patrick Hornquist might be our guy. I'd say maybe a 1 year... he might want 2 years on the nose at 4.2. See if that works. Now we got to wait and see if Fleury signs. We trade Carey Price. That's we're going old goalie for old goalie swap. Fleury has had better seasons in the past, and we'll see if we can make all of this work. I'd be really happy. I think Fleury signed. Jonathan Taves signs. I was actually going really fast through that. Patrick Hornquist signs with the Blackhawks. Niku in a trade. We're going to decline that trade. Let me double check. I believe we got Fleury. I'm going to have to double check on that. But at this rate, we don't need Carey Price. We still have $7 million in cap space. Fleury does sign. He's 38, 88 overall. Carey Price is technically younger. It's just, can we buy him out? We can't buy him out. Or do we rock 2 goalies? Carey Price being a backup, though, he would just decline, and I would rather get something out of Carey Price now, and then maybe next year go after another goalie in the free agency market if Fleury doesn't have a good year. But I think that's honestly the move. Connor Bedard, I don't want him to be in the AHL or in the CHL. We need him on the team. Like, our plans are going for him. But this, I mean, yeah, they have pretty much the same trade value. It's just this is a bigger contract. And we have already Jake Allen as a backup. Who could we maybe poach at the winger position? Give me a second. I'll try to finagle some things here, see what we can maybe put together. Here we are, guys. Big trade offer to get Carey Price out of here to bring in actually Tom Wilson of the Washington Capitals. I know that might not be a popular pick, but he is a bottom 6 forward lines player. But again, if we get a new coach, that all might change, as well as a first-round pick. Getting rid of Daniel Sprong actually back to the Capitals. This trade is going to be rejected, though. That was my fear of that being rejected. We'll throw in another pick, 3rd-round pick here. See if that goes through. Trade is rejected as well. And I want to make something work here. Who do they want is the real question. Obviously, we're not getting rid of Bedard. They want maybe some defensemen. Let's see here. Actually, this guy could work to get that 1st-round pick, and the trade is accepted. So Carey Price is out of here. Fleury is in. Allen is in. I know that was a huge move. I will admit that is a huge move. We've got 51 contracts, though. We need to work something out here, but let's first take a look at the lines before we make any more moves. I mean, we can't really take a look at lines, but we can take a look as best we can at them. And looking at it here, let's take a look. Centerman, Suzuki, Taze, Dvorak, and then technically speaking in the system, we do have Rodriguez, and hopefully Bedard doesn't go back to juniors. That would be really sad. So we're kind of set there. Left wing, we're good. Gunther, Kostanen, Anthony Milano, and we even have Kraus. Right wing, Toffoli, Caulfield, Wilson, Marchenko. So I would say we're set there. We've got a ton of cap space, which I'm really happy about. Edmondson, we could even try to offer contract extensions now. Noah Hannafin doesn't want one. He's going to want a big payday. Our defensemen, actually, they're all wanting big paydays. Romanoff is the one that I'm really most intrigued about because we gave him that bridge deal, so we'll see how he plays this year. But we got a ton of cap space to work with getting Price out of there. But honestly, at this point, unless there's somebody that we could maybe replace Toffoli with, Toffoli being a right winger, if there's somebody out there, because we've got $12 million to work with, I don't know if there's anyone out there that could replace Toffoli that would be worth it. I mean, the best sniper would be Bobby Ryan, and I don't really want to go for that. Radulov, don't really care for him much to bring him in. We don't really know if he'd even fit. Left wing, nothing really there. I was going to say, if Tarasenko was still up, we'd try to bring him in, but all the big free agents are gone. Don't even really need to have to worry about it. But so let's go ahead and we'll simulate up. And actually, let's take a look at head coaches. I'm curious if there are any coaches out there. I know this episode's been going on a little long, but let's take a look if there are any coaches that are better than 65 overall fit. And I don't know if there is going to be anybody out there better than a 65 overall fit. 46, 61, 53. It's not looking good. Yeah, 62 is looking like as close as it can get. So we're going to have to stick with our head coach again for this year, guys. There's no one out there that has a better fit, and I'm scrolling. Somebody has 65 exact. So, I mean, we're going to have to roll with our coach, see how it goes. But let's go ahead. We'll simulate up. We'll take a look at captaincy. We'll set the lines, and we'll then close out the episode. Here we are, guys. We are at the captaincy selections, and Suzuki, our captain. Toffoli is technically an A right now. Klingberg is an A. I don't really like the A on Toffoli. Who will we give the other A to? We're going to give it to Caulfield. I think Caulfield deserves an A. I mean, we could give it to another defenseman, but I think he does deserve it. But this is what I always, after all the moves we've made, is what I'm interested in seeing. Gunther is up to an 87 overall. That is interesting. Suzuki on the top line does get a +2. Dvorak's actually up to an 84. He does get +1. Koskinen is up to an 84, which is very interesting. He could get a +2 on that line. Actually, Koskinen is technically a right winger. If we move maybe Toffoli down, that doesn't really work. I swear, I think, oh my God, we drafted Bedard, but I think he's not going to play until next season. I hate how the game does that. Is there a way to maybe call him up? That is, all of our plans were based on the fact of having Bedard, and that is just such a killer to what we were trying to do, guys. That aggravates me, to be honest. But I think our lines, we have some pretty solid lines. Kostin actually works better on the fourth line. Who's our scratched players? Kraus, which line does he fit? He fits technically the third. Our third line's already pretty good. Kostin, he kind of fits anywhere in the lineup if we need him to, which is really good. I'm really happy that that's the case, but he's going to chill there. Our lines honestly might be the best they've ever been. Taves, Rodriguez, honestly, I'm okay with that. Back end here, this is where it's going to get a little interesting. I'm okay with these lines. That's perfectly fine. Who's technically as better? Top 4 medium potential. Top 4 medium potential. Okay, all those guys have top 4 medium potential. Scratched. Sherratt is scratched. Defensive defenseman. Does fit defensive line too. Let's take a look here, man. I'm really happy with Gunther. That's really awesome stuff there. Honestly, AHL is looking good as well. And Nitala, I want to move. It'd be nice to try to move him up the lineup somehow, some way. I'd rather have him on that +2. Let's look at the back end for AHL. It's not looking very good, to be honest. Woo, we'll get him up there. And I'm curious. Let's take a look at the special teams. We want the NHL. I mean, it's looking pretty good, I would say. I want Gunther, though, on this top. Can we get him on the top pair? We cannot. Can Caulfield at least work on the top pair? It cannot. That's interesting. Take a look at 4-man power play. Penalty kills looking okay. 3-man PK is not looking very good at all. But, I mean, there's nothing else we could really do with that. Goalies, Fleury 87, Allen 83. Scratch, Kraus. Okay, so I'm really happy with the team right now. And, I mean, I'm just really upset about Bedard. I'm actually extremely upset about Bedard not being able to actually play for us. But I don't get why. In the system, he doesn't even show up. He does technically show up in the system. But does he show? He still shows juniors. Guys, that's a big L. Oh my goodness. We're just gonna have to ride it out. He's gonna have to play in junior. I wish there was a way we could call him up maybe at the end of the season. It's probably gonna be next year if we now think about it. So we've got another year without now technically our top prospect, which is a bummer, but you know, that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, and it is going to be something we're going to have to deal with, and I'm okay with that. Sergachev still on the block as a restricted free agent as well. I mean, we couldn't even bring him in if we tried. I'm curious if we gave him that. Yeah, we don't even have enough compensation to bring him in, which is insane. I'm curious if there are any other good players out there that worth bringing maybe in. Paling is, look at that. Look at our boy Paling. He's out there. He wants a team, but I don't think anyone's going to pick him up, unfortunately. Yeah, that's the team. That's what we're going to roll with this year, guys. Really happy with the moves. Obviously, Bedard not being able to play is kind of a bummer, but, you know, it is what it is. We got him, and we still have 2 first-round picks for next year. So that's going to be it for today's episode. If you guys did enjoy it, be sure to drop a like on this video. I hope you guys have a good one, and as always, stay dusty.